Welcome back to the Gup Shup podcast. It's me, Bhavya.
And Anjali.
We gotta get better at these intros.
We missed a week because of a series of unfortunate events.
Very unfortunate, involving a trip to the hospital.
No.
You did go to the hospital, right?
No.
Eye doctor.
Yeah.
Close enough.
I just had a streak of bad luck.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, not really. But that's why we couldn't film for a long time. But today's podcast's theme is about Desi families, or honestly, families of just color.
Yeah.
Ethnic families on vacations.
Spicy families.
Yes.
Spicy families on vacation.
So
we have a couple of questions.
Vacations can mean
local, international,
road trips, camping, international.
Pretty much any night not spent in your house, I think, counts as a vacation in a Desi family.
Yeah.
It's like if you're out of your house, you're having fun.
Well, you're supposedly having fun.
So we have a couple of questions for each other. We're going to go one after the other, and then whatever tangents may appear, we will pursue them. That was a very formal way of saying we're going to
pursue tangents.
It's a very formal way of saying that we'll do a lot of gup shupping. So I think I'll start off because I have a pretty basic question, which is, what's one Desi travel habit that you love/hate? I don't care if it's love or hate, just a strong emotion about it.
I think it's when families bring Desi food along.
And you're going to say it.
It's just, I think it's just like, it's a love and hate relationship. I mostly love because I like it, like when there's, you're eating you're going to eat like a rolled up parantha or roti is gonna like a rolled roti with like sabji inside, and your mom's gonna pack a bunch of it. Recently, when I grew up, I think as I'm growing up, we don't do it as much. But when I was a child, this was a big thing with my family in Toronto. So, for instance, my grandma we used to go to satsangs.
Yeah.
So you know what satsangs are, right? So satsangs are like there's like a guru who comes, and once in a while he'll come and he'll do like a, how would you say, like a sermon?
Pep rally, yeah.
Not a pep rally.
He'd hype up the crowd.
But like he'll be giving preachings, and it'll be like a multiple day thing. But for that, so when I used to live in Toronto or go to Toronto in the summers, almost like a lot of the extended family, we would go and drive to the satsang because my nanima wants to go, and then the masis and everyone's going to go and listen.
Yes. So
I still remember we'd drive there, and then it'd be all the kids, all of us cousins. Someone would prop open the trunk of the car. The kids would be sitting inside, or we're standing, and like prop over the trunk, and all the mums and masis, they're just like setting up like a buffet of like Indian food at the back. So there was like this one Indian food I still remember. I always forget the name. When I go to Toronto, I asked my nanny for it, but it's like a snack thing. It's like this really thick and like crunchy. It looks like a roti, but it's not a roti. It looks like a patura, but it's not a patura. It's like thick and it's crunchy, and you eat it with mango achar. And it's really, really good. And I just have really good memories of that. I just remember in general when we go for like road trips in the past, even if you were going on like a flight, I remember when we were little, we used to be sent Indian food to go with us. So I think it's helpful because then you don't miss your home food. What do you think? What is your...
I like it, and I also hate it because sometimes we went on a Europe trip recently this summer, and I thought a big part of going to Europe would be to try the food there and really taste the culture. And then we just brought like a bunch of Indian food with us.
You did?
Well, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But we ended up bringing it because we stopped at my uncle's place in London first, and then so to get to London, no Indian food. I was like, all right, we're doing good. We're gonna be trying the local food there. We stayed 3 nights at London, and then our uncle just pushes us with a bunch of Indian food.
Yeah.
He's like, take this for the rest of your travels, because we were touring Europe after London.
Yeah.
And my mom, of course, was like, yes, of course, we'll take all of it. So we came with like a suitcase, and then by the time we left London, half the suitcase was food, just snacks. So
it's kind of funny. It's like the thing where they see people can't go to another country and last there without going on like a hunt for a Desi restaurant.
That actually happened
It's
in
just,
Europe.
yeah, it's just like a natural thing that, especially parents, be like, Indian restaurant, let's go. Like you might be like in Hawaii, Mexico,
Maybe the Indian
Europe.
restaurant.
They're just gonna run to an Indian restaurant.
And it happened in Rome actually. We showed up in Rome, and first of all, in Italy it was like paradise for me and my brother because the pizza there was so good and we loved it. My parents did not agree. They looked at the pizza and they're like, "This is pizza," and because they're used to like the Americanized version, right? So they couldn't appreciate the nuances of like just dough, sauce, and like globs of cheese. But it's a good cheese, so that's the quality part of it. So in Rome, they literally went to the sketchiest Indian restaurant, and they're like, you know what, we'll make do with it because at least it's Indian food. So that's the thing that's like I don't like. I guess it's a generational thing though. So
Yeah, I think I like taking food sometimes, because you'll miss it. But the whole like concept of like going to another place and just to go and hunt down an Indian restaurant, you're supposed to try out new foods. My next question for you, what was your worst vacation experience with your Desi family?
oh, I remember this. We went to Vancouver we rented an RV, and it was two families in the RV. So first of all, two families in one RV. Even if the RV is made for two families, just the experience of having two people, like two families packed, is not good. Just too crowded for me. I got like sick during that trip because I can't even study or I can't read on a car, let alone have a vacation in a giant RV packed with people. So although Vancouver was nice, the RV part of it just killed it for me. And I guess it's not necessarily like a Desi thing, but Desi people were involved, so I'm going to count it.
I think my worst experience was, again, extended family, like all of us. So,
The extended family
no,
shows
so
up
like,
a lot.
no, I know. So we were in Toronto, and I don't think my dad was there, but my mom, brother, and I were there. And then we were at my grandma's house, my nanny's house, and I think um, four sets of family. We decided let's take a road trip to New York.
How far away is New York from Toronto? How do you get there?
Not that far, I don't remember. But it's just we decided to take a road trip to New York. So it was like like I think it was four Masia. So all the siblings pretty much, like all my mom and all her siblings, we all went. And then like cousins, I think there were 2, 4, 6, 8 cousins.
So how many people in total?
A lot. Like we took 3 cars. And it was like a road trip. So first of all, I think that trip was just annoying because I think I was 13 maybe. And the first task was deciding who goes in what car.
Yeah.
That I remember just like, throwing a tantrum at 13 because of course, like, all the cool siblings want to sit together and then I didn't have a space or something, or like I was like, come on, like I want to sit with them too. I want to sit with the grown-ups, I want to sit with the big kids. So that was another thing. That was annoying because we had to like divide and not everyone got to sit together. You can't put all the cousins in a car because nobody could drive. Then another thing is that I was always the sibling that was put in the middle seat.
Because you were small?
Yeah, I guess I was just like smaller, like in general.
Yeah.
So they always made me sit in the middle seat. Imagine, I know it was a long road trip. Imagine a road trip where you're sitting in a car crammed between, 2 people.
Did they smell bad?
No.
I'm trying to get a better sense of the picture.
No, it's just annoying.
Okay.
So it's just like being the sibling that has to sit in the middle seat is not a fun thing. You're just like, the car, if there's an accident, you're gonna be the first one to die.
Flying out the window.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just that was not exciting. Then this trip, it was supposed to be a day trip to New York. So we went to New York, New Jersey, and then drove back to Toronto, all in one day.
All in one is okay. Depending on how long it takes, that sounds like a
horrible. I don't even count that I don't even count that I went to New York when I tell people. I'll be like, I don't even consider that being my first time in New York. Terrible, because it was just like nonstop driving. Everyone like barely had bathroom breaks. Nobody showered. So yes, everybody started smelling bad, right? Everybody just like nobody showered. Everyone just felt gross. So you know, like as a girl too, you don't shower, your hair is all messed up. I didn't have a comb to like comb my hair. And then, you know,
Nest.
when my mom or my masi are like, girls, let's take a picture of you. And me and my cousin sister were just standing like, because it's just like all the pictures, I can't even, like those New Year pictures are terrible because you can tell we didn't shower.
Yeah.
And we just looked exhausted. And then, so that's another thing. Because they wanted to be efficient and we didn't want to stay overnight because it's too big of a family. So we were just trying to do a day trip. And then I think the worst part was when it's an extended family stuck in 3 cars for that long time, there were problems. And I remember there was a big argument that happened. And I think the argument happened in New Jersey, and then the whole trip back to Toronto, horrible.
Silence.
Everybody was just quiet, right? Like they were depressed. At least the adults, they were just like upset, angry. So I think that was my worst family vacation experience.
Like you went somewhere far away for one day, had a bad argument, looked and smelled bad pictures.
Yeah.
Can't even remember it.
Yeah,
So
I was in the middle seat. So I fully would like to cancel that experience.
Refund that
I
experience,
am
please.
refunding the experience. I did not go to New York.
Okay, so the second question for me is: are there some destinations that are made for Desi families? Like if a stereotypical Desi family came up to you and asked, "Where should we go for vacation? We have 1 week, and anywhere in the world." Assuming they have 1 week at the destination, forget all the travel time and all that stuff.
India?
Okay, other than India, like a destination, for vacation. Assuming that they're
You're going for vacation?
Yeah.
I feel like
what place other than India kind of suits the Desi family?
I feel like Mexico.
Really?
There's a lot of Indian people that go to Mexico.
Oh, you've been to Mexico every year,
And
pretty much.
Mexico, you just get an all-inclusive hotel, and everyone keeps their butts in the hotel, and they just sit and relax because Desi families just need to take a week, just do nothing, except sit and just eat as much as they can. And it reminds me of, it's like Desi families in all-inclusive resorts. I think not just Desi families, just any family in all-inclusive resorts. It's funny because it's all-inclusive, but you paid for it. But because it's all-inclusive, they're gonna eat as much as they can. They're gonna fill their stomachs up, right? Have I ever eaten fruit in my life? No. If I go to an all-inclusive hotel and breakfast, am I gonna eat a bunch of fruit? Yes. Not me, but I'm just saying somebody else. So I remember when my family goes to Mexico, it's so funny because they're just especially my mom and dad. My brother and I will eat a normal amount. We eat how much we can.
Yeah.
And then when we eat what we normally do, then my dad will be like, "Why are you guys not eating enough? Come on, guys! We're getting all this food. It's free." And I'm like, "No, it's not free.
You paid for it.
You paid for it." But it's girl math, but Desi dad math.
The Desi dad math would go crazy.
Yeah, Desi dad math. It's it's all inclusive. After they pay it, they're just gonna forget about it momentarily. Feel oh my god, all this food is free and it's for us. So he's gonna go and put almost everything in his plate. I remember went to Mexico at one point. His plate had a mountain, and I looked and I'm like, be for real. Why is there so much food? So
Does
I think Mexico
ruin his experience at all? Because you can't
then
eat
you
so
just get
much.
sick.
Yeah, you can eat enough to have a bad time.
Yeah, you get sick. Last time I went to Mexico, it was fine until the last day when my mom and dad got sick and they were just throwing up on the flight back.
Oh yeah.
So but I don't think that was because of the food in the hotel. It's because of Starbucks in Mexico.
When you least expect it, it'd be your own people sometimes.
But I think I think it's Mexico would be the place.
Yeah.
Because if you give Desi families all inclusive.
Maybe just all inclusive anywhere.
Yeah, but I think Mexico, at least there's some the food. Some of the, I don't know, it depends on where in Mexico. But other than Mexico, I can't think of anywhere else where Desi family, Europe, no, definitely not.
I've
Europe
experienced
is
that
not a
firsthand.
Desi family
In terms of food, unless they have an Indian restaurants nearby. I mean, it depends on the person as well. If you're willing to try new foods, then that's fine. But if you're kind of stuck in your old ways, which is also okay. It's your money, you can spend it however you want.
Yeah.
I think all inclusive would be in the right place, obviously. Europe, my parents really enjoyed Europe for sightseeing reasons though, first of all, my parents booked day tours to see the sights. So we went in August, it was very hot, sun was high in the sky, and they still booked 6-hour, 8-hour tours, walking tours.
They just want to fill up the time, It's the same mentality. It's the all-inclusive mentality.
Yeah.
Except it's we're here, we got to make the most out of it. So every second of the day, we have to do something.
But I think that's counterproductive at some point. because if you're going to see like let's say the Eiffel Tower, and it's like an 8-hour walking tour of the city of Paris, but it's like really hot, and it's really hard to actually enjoy it. You didn't really spend that time well. You're still like, my parents did, because there's they like seeing the sights, but me and my brother were like, it is hot out here. We're getting headaches. Like even though we were drinking water, like I'm just complaining at this point. But I think it'd be better to have like when you're taking tours and stuff, do it like later in the day rather than in the middle of the day, just to try and use up all the time.
Which family member would you leave behind if you could at home if you're going on a vacation?
This is like treasonous talk. I can't be answering these.
Come on.
Leave behind?
Yeah, leave behind. If you had to be like, no, you sit home, you're not coming with us.
Oh, I'd leave myself behind. Yeah. I can't do that to anybody else.
I'll leave my dad behind.
No hesitation.
I'll leave my dad. Because dads, they're just like, they have no patience. Okay, I guess it depends on the type of vacation.
Okay.
Actually, whatever the type, I think would be.
Please elaborate.
No. I think my dad's okay with like flight vacations. That's fine. But, well, I don't know. It's okay. Like,
you're trying really hard to find like a good vacation, but you're just like, I don't want him anywhere.
No. Okay, I'll explain why. Road trips.
Okay.
I'll leave my dad behind because he has no patience, right? He'll just speed.
But he drives just faster.
He'll be like, drive fast. He's just so impatient. He just wants to get there really quickly. Like, part of the journey is, part of like getting there is just like how you get there, right?
Yeah.
You can enjoy the ride. But he's just speeding. And then it's like, like he's just going to get annoyed because like, let's say like he's somewhere and then he'll be like, does anybody need to go to the bathroom? If I don't need to go, I don't need to go. But then let's say halfway until the next spot, I'm like, dang, now I got to go. He's going to be like, why didn't you go on the last time? Well,
I didn't have to go
I didn't know, right? I didn't have to go last time. And it's just like, fine, whatever. Flight trips?
He's not the one.
No. So. Yeah, exactly. I think, okay, there I would be okay with taking my dad. Except, again, when we went to Mexico, my dad set up a person. You can scam him. Absolutely. If Daru's involved, it's scammed. Money's we went to Mexico, and they even clarified. They clarified on the flight. Like, the pilot took the mic, and when we landed, he was like, okay, because we were traveling through Sunwing. So, like, when you guys leave, when you go in the airport, grab your baggage. Please only find people who are wearing orange T-shirts, and they will take you to your shuttle to go to your hotel. And the pilot literally said, please do not interact with other people at the airport. They're just trying to sell you timeshares, or they're going to try scamming you. So please do not interact. Like, we hear it. The pilot said it.
Was he asleep when he was saying that?
No, he was wide awake. Right, I was
taking notes and everything.
No, because when the pilot was saying it, I was looking at my dad, and I was like, and I even looked at him. I'm like, did you hear that? I even said those words because I knew something was gonna happen, and it did. So we left. Right, we got our baggage, and my dad was like, "Where are the Sunwing people?" And then he sees somebody standing there with a clipboard, and he was like, "Let's ask this gentleman where Sunwing is."
This kind gentleman.
He goes up to the gentleman, and he was like, "Hi, we're looking for our shuttle. We're with Sunwing." And the guy was like, "Oh yes, come with me." And he takes us to a counter where there's a lady. And then the lady was like, he tells the lady like, oh, they're waiting for their shuttle with Sunwing. She's like, oh, don't worry, I'll text them and let them know you're here. First red flag. We didn't even tell them our names.
Yeah, it's so like, who are you texting?
She pulled out her phone and she went, I let them know that you're here, and they'll text me and tell me when they're here,
like,
so that you guys don't have to wait outside for them for so long. So when the shuttle comes, they'll let me know. And I immediately was like, I looked at her while she was typing on the phone, and I'm like, we didn't tell her our names. So how did he?
It's like in like horror movies or thriller movies where the good guy suddenly knows a detail that the good guy shouldn't know, and it's like, I never told you about, etc.
No, and then she's like, and then the lady was like, can I interest you with a free shot of tequila? And my dad was like, tequila? Sure, right? So he takes the shot, and then she like pours another one up. Gives it to my mom. She's like, how about you? And my mom's like, no, thank you. She's like, come on, like, it's your vacation, have it. My mom's like, no.
She doesn't drink, right? So.
Yeah, my mom doesn't drink. Then she asked my brother, My brother refused. She asked us. She was like forcing it too. And I'm like, this is a tactic. So keep this in mind. If you go on vacation and they're offering you free alcohol to each family member, it's because alcohol is going to affect your decision-making process. And you're more likely to give in. So my dad's just like there, like taking a shot of tequila. And then she's talking about how like, she's like, oh, she shows a map and she's pretty much saying like, you know, like, I can give you guys you know what, guys? I can do something for free for you guys. How about this? Tomorrow morning, I'll pick you guys up from your hotel, take you to my place, and I will cook breakfast for you for free. My place has the best view in the city, right? And I was like, wow, for free? You hear the F-R-E-E word, and that's it, right? She's like, for free? Like, really? How kind? And like, my mom slowly started like falling for it, and then I had to like pull my mom aside aggressively, and I was like, Mom, she's scamming us. We need to find the orange shirt people. And she's like, no. And then my mom thought about it, and she realized like, okay, Angela has a point. And I told my brother too. And then my mom tried telling my dad, and my dad was like, you know, like kind of like waving her off, like
nonsense. There's
listen, free stuff. Like she's gonna give us a ride there, right? And then I looked, and then I think at one point I had to interject, which is like, you know, dangerous for you to do in a Desi household where like the youngest
disturbs the natural order of things.
Exactly. And then youngest female in the house is speaking up. And I like spoke up, and I was so annoyed because I think I was just like getting irritated. I'm like, how can you be this gullible? And I'm like, I'm standing here, and he's just like blah 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 to me, my brother, and me, and my mom. And then I looked at her. I'm like, are you from Sunwing? And she was like, sorry? And I was like,
Sunwing.
I'm like, no, are you an employee in Sunwing? She kept being like, she kept acting confused, and I got irritated, and I was like, I'm like, it's a simple question. Are you an employee with Sunwing? She was like, no. And then I immediately was like, then how did you let them know we're here without asking us for our name? Right? And she's like, And then then my dad kind of like, then my mom grabbed my dad, and I'm like, let's go. We went out. Sunwing was standing there. They see it, and they're like, are you guys the Krishna family? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, we've been waiting for you guys. We almost left without you. So the shuttle was there the whole time.
Everyone just looked at your dad at the same time.
Yeah, we all turned to my dad, and we're like, and the whole bus ride there, I made it my mission to make him feel like he just got scammed. I looked at him, I'm like, you are an adult, okay, a male adult. You are the father of this house, and you almost got us scammed over. I'm like, we would have missed our shuttle, and we would have been stranded in Mexico.
How did he take that?
What?
How did he take that?
Well, he was thinking with tequila. He was like, oh.
It's like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they got me there.
So
it's tequila.
No
what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's no offense. It's the only reason I'd be like, Dad, stay home, because, or at least like, yeah, I think
you wrote this question for yourself. you had this in mind. You're like typing it up. You're like, yeah, I'm going to talk about this.
There's no one. Like, what about your brother?
Okay, for my brother, the thing he does do is that he will go to like a vacation and be that hoodie teenager. You know that you know the vibe where it's like hood on, music, headphones in.
Just looking at.
It's too cool for school. Too cool to be on vacation.
Can you imagine you're like in Paris, you're in Europe, and you're acting like you're too cool?
I mean, not all the time. He wasn't like that all the time. But when he was in that mood, he was in that mood, man. Like full on hoodie type, you know. So I would leave him behind partially if he was gonna act like that.
Your brother's so funny. It's like Parth, our friend Parth. He's always like, he was texting me. He's like, I've never seen Bhavya's brother's face. Yes, he said that to me recently. He's like, you know what, man? He's like, I haven't seen his brother's face in a long time. And all these pictures and videos of him, he's either in a helmet or he's in a hoodie. Yeah. And all his poses are just him looking down.
Because it's not cool to show your face in photos anymore. It's like, you got to look down. You got to look away. You got to just not be in the picture.
At this point, just don't be in the picture. Post it, be like, look at me.
I mean, to be fair, it is a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, he does pull the vibe off of like biker guy with the hoodie and slightly bad boy, but not too bad boy. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not smoking or anything. Mm-hmm. So he does pull it off, and he's getting better at pulling it off. I'd leave my mom home if she was wanting to bring too much food, because she's the person that'll bring a bunch of food. Yeah. And then she'll be carrying all this food like a camel, and then she'll be like, "This is so heavy," and I'm like, "You didn't have to pack any of this. There's food all around us. We budgeted for food."
It's like they pack it and then they complain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you hold it.
It's like, I'm not eating this stuff. It's like, I'm in Europe. If I wanted to eat this, I'd go home and go to like the Indian grocery store to get this stuff.
It's so funny, Indian families. You eat Indian food all your life, and the one time you step out, Just like,
Run
your
it
brain
back.
goes, ah, I can't.
It's like, run it back again. My dad, you gotta have my head. Like, I would not leave my dad home. Like, without my dad, things would just fall apart.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like,
yeah,
he holds it together. It was funny though, because like one time though, like in Europe again, we were on time for a train to our next destination, and my dad's like, "I left my water bottle at the hotel. I'm gonna go back and get it." And then I had to be like, "No, if you go back to the hotel, because it's like a 10-minute walk, and like the train was gonna leave in 20 minutes, so he'd be like right on time if everything went perfect." I was like, "If you don't make this train, and we had to figure out what to do in Europe, we're not making it." It's like, we need you. When you have a family, what Desi travel habits will you embody for better or for worse? What thing do you think, what habits do you think you'll become just from like doing it so often? I know one thing I'll definitely do. I don't know if everyone does this, but we always go to the gate that the airplane is taking off from.
Yeah, you
Right
go
away.
and check it.
Like right through security, even though the flight's in like 3 hours, we're like, does gate C1 exist? Is it there? Are we at the wrong airport? Because, funny story, I actually went to the wrong airport once.
Really?
In Toronto. Yeah. Either I was flying back from Edmonton or going from Edmonton to Toronto. Well, my final destination was Kingston. And there's 2 airports. There's like the actual Toronto airport, and then there's like one by the river, like by the waterside. So I was in the waterside hotel or waterside airport. I was in the Toronto airport, and I was just, there's a layover, so I was just chilling and watching a movie. I finished a whole movie too. I finished it, I was like, "What is a good movie?" Anyways, time to check my flight. I go to the gate check because it was the same gate number. And I'm like, "I don't see this flight appearing." And they're like, "No, that's in the other airport." So I had to like run over to the other airport because it was like a 20-minute walk. But I ran over there and made my flight. But that's why
I like that. That's such a fun habit, though. I feel like I would embody that too. It's just like going to the airport really early.
Yeah.
I like that. I actually don't mind going to the airport early. It's such a brown dad thing.
Because it's the cheapest flight. So
Yeah.
it's like, why not?
So it's like, you just go early, then you're relaxed. You check where your gate is. So you're like, okay, this is the gate. Okay, confirm everything. And then then you relax and you can explore. And then you just have to come back closer to the departure. I think coming so early is a bit overkill, but
What's the earliest you've gone to the airport? Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
4 hours.
No, like when time-wise, like 6 a.m.
Oh, I've been to the airport every single. I've probably been there at 2 a.m. one time, 3 a.m. one time, 4 a.m. So I did a lot of traveling when we used to go to Toronto every summer. But it's just I don't mind the whole going early. If it's like really, really early, that's different. But like going early makes a bit sense because then you just relax. But what I don't understand is getting there early, right? Like if you're 3 hours early, especially again, brown dads or like Asian dads in general. I don't think this is just brown dads, Asian dads. Get to the airport early, right? 3 hours before the flight. But while you're at the airport, they're like speed walking. they're like panic walking to the gate. So they're like, I like remember one time too, like we're like walking and my dad's just like speed walking, like rush walking, trying to get to the gate. And my mom, brother, and I are walking too. He's speed walking, we're trying to keep up with him, and at one point we just all 3 of us gave up. We started walking slow, and then we just watched him disappear.
Fade away to the distance.
And I was like, and I remember I looked at him, I'm like, why is he rushing? Like,
why are you running?
I'm like, we are 3 hours early. So why do we? So I understand getting there early, but if you're getting early, relax.
I think you gotta walk with a purpose though. You can't be like loud, like walking really slow.
No, I don't agree.
You gotta be like go with the flow of the traffic at least.
No, there's no reason to speed walk, if you're that early.
If you're that early, okay.
He was like rushing as if we were about to miss our flight. And I was like, and I think Asian dads in general do this. So maybe you're embodying Asian dad qualities right now by thinking that. It's just like
the power walk.
Yeah, just like power walking there. No, it's not necessary. So I half agree with this whole concept, but I don't agree with that when you get there, you still rush.
Okay.
Right? Like he'll like go and rush and then be like, guys, let's go to Tim's right now. Let's get our breakfast.
Well, to be fair, the lineup at Tim's in airports is always so long.
But I think if you're 3 hours early,
you'll end up waiting for 3 hours.
You're not going to wait for 3 hours.
Tim's lines are long, man. I don't know why people like Tim's so much. Well, to be fair, the only thing I get at Tim's is like a bagel and some cream cheese. Because that stuff, it's cheap and it'll keep you going for like
a while.
A while at least. And it's so easy to store. It's not soggy. It doesn't get soggy. it keeps its shape. So like my survival food at airports is a Tim's bagel with cream cheese,
Yeah.
toasted, of course.
No, I think I would embody that. Checking the
bagel?
gate.
Oh,
Checking the gate.
checking the gate, yeah.
I don't know about like.
What about food wise? Like,
I don't
do you
think
pack
packing.
snacks?
I don't think I do yet. I don't.
No.
No.
Because
Maybe
I
like
remember,
some like maybe like if it's a road trip, I'll pack like munchies.
like granola bars and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or like Desi food.
No, granola bars. I think the Desi food I would pack on a road trip would be kurkure.
Like processed Desi food, because I don't think people understand when we say Desi food, it's like a full on like menu. Like
Yeah, but
whenever we go camping, like my mom is like kind of like head chef. She I'm gonna use the word orchestrates.
Yeah.
She orchestrates this elaborate menu with like multiple stages of cooking, multiple salads, like live cooking happening. Like there's always gonna be a propane stove involved whenever we go camping.
The only thing is there's someone I follow, and when him and his wife go, I think camping, like I've seen stories. I think I like this. They could be like in the mountains, it's like coldish, whatever. And then there'll be like a story and there's like a little mini pot and they're cooking Maggi.
Okay, noodles, yes.
Maggi noodles. And I'm like, that would be nice. I would want to eat Maggi noodles on a road trip.
So they're like, it's like winter camping trip or
Not
something?
winter, it was like still like mountain. Maybe not winter, but regardless.
In the mountains,
It was in the mountains. And I'm like, imagine just being in the mountains, have like a little like pot and then they're just like making noodles.
Like full noodles, like with the peas and everything?
No. Just like bunny, like
straight from the packet.
Yeah,
honestly, those taste the best though.
I think that would taste so good on a road trip. What
you haven't talked about your mom so much. Like what?
My mom?
Yeah, she's been in the background for that.
My mom's just like, she's just like chill, yaar, right? Like chill, like right. She like
take a chill pill.
Like on like a car trip. My mom loves long drives. I can't say the same.
Does she stay awake during the entire drive, or like does she like sleeping in the car?
No, she'll stay awake most of the time, but she'll she'll sleep if she needs to. But like she's just like the chill, like all she needs is like maybe some sunflower seeds, sunflower seeds, or like like it'll be like so. And let's talk about car first, right? Road trip, dad's the one driving, and he's just driving. Mom's at the front. She'll just be like enjoying it,
yes.
Like she loves the road trip. She's gonna be she's gonna be like munching on some sunflower seeds, eating some nuts or something. And then her responsibility as a passenger princess is to give food to my dad.
That's common, yeah.
Right? Then these two, if they're at the front, the music, old songs.
Of course.
It'll be their old songs, Indian old songs. And it'll always be the same dialogue every road trip. They'll be like, I know you guys don't enjoy it, but trust me, when you get to the age, you will love this music.
And then you're like still waiting?
No, I'm like, not really, really old music, but like maybe like oldish. I'm okay with it now. But like really, really old, I haven't hit that stage yet.
Like when you say old, like are you talking like black and white movies old?
No.
Okay, not that old.
No, like 1980s, 90s. So they're listening to their song, their bhajans, right? Their whatever.
Yeah.
Shairi, poetry.
They listen to poetry in the car?
Well, whatever.
Like straight up somebody dropping bars and they're like, yeah.
Right? And then they'll be like them at the front. That's like the front section of the car. Then my brother and I think my brother in a road trip, it's very much just on his phone.
Your brother stays on his phone? I did not expect that. He seems like the kind of guy that's like also in the moment.
On his phone, looking out the window. He's just kind of like there. Yeah, I think he's just there. I don't know. We don't do much road trips anymore, but when we were younger, it would be like DS. Him and I would be on the DS.
Yeah, the game console.
DS. Him and I would be like, before we didn't have enough. Like we only had one, I think, originally.
Yeah.
So I used to get my brother so much trouble because I'd be like, I want it. He'd be like, no, let me finish. And I'd be like that bratty kid who was like, no, I want it. And I'd start crying. And then my mom would be like, just give it to her. And then he would be like, that's not fair. I barely got to play with it. And then eventually
they had so many arguments.
And then eventually they had to buy my own DS, which was like a pink one. And then he had like his own, I had a pink one. And then he would play his own game, I'd play my own, and then we'd play multiplayer on stuff. DS was it was fun. But that used to be our road trip thing. I, on a road trip, am the type of person where I'm just complaining. I get car sick. I get car sick a lot. And then I'm just like, it's just, I can't do road trips.
Well, my mom definitely does like the passenger duties. Her duties are a bit extended. She has to clean my dad's sunglasses.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like all cool. Like, I don't know if you can see that. He sends it off, gets them back, and puts them on super cool like because they're all freshly cleaned.
Uh-huh.
Food as well. Sometimes my dad's be like, clean the dashboard.
To your mom?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why. He just has a thing where
It's like,
he
I
sees
see dust.
I see dust. He's like, all right, good. But other than that, like, not much else to do in passenger duties. Yeah, me and my brother were just in the back seat. I'm usually sleeping. I'm just like, just out.
I can't sleep in a car. I don't know how you do that.
You get used to it. It's better than like reading in a car because I can't read in a car.
Yeah.
Then that makes me sick. And then my brother's always on his like headphones in, listening to music on his phone, pretty much. Yeah. I do have some stories about travel in general because I've been to India. You haven't been to India. Do you want to go to India? No? Like never in your life? You're like
Maybe eventually, but not yet.
what kind? Is that like is there something that scares you, or like something that you're not ready for, or like what's the main reason?
There's a lot of things that should be scared of in India. Let's be real.
Fair. Like, is that the main thing that's holding you back, or just like you don't have that interest in it?
No, I think it's just like generally not safe. And like if I went to India, like we don't have like close family there. So again, there's not that kind of like it would be such far family. I don't think I'd be overwhelmed trying to be introduced to everybody and being like, sorry, who's who?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's just like, it's like the crime there is pretty bad, but also like if as a girl, if I want to go to India, it would be shopping and food. I can't go shopping anywhere without getting scammed because my accent would just fully get me scammed.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? I'll be like, "Aap mujhe like ye de do."
They bust.
And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's like $100." I'll be like, "What?" So that's out of the question. And then food too. Like I hear like street food's good, but then it'll get you sick. Like I know somebody who got salmonella.
Salmonella. That's from meat, right?
No, oh sorry, you're right, that's from meat. What's that thing you can get from like
E. coli?
E. coli, yeah.
Oh.
Somebody had that when they went to India recently that I know. And I'm like, that's interesting, right? Because like Golgappe, like I want to try that, but
I think if you have somebody like a guide there, they can show you the proper spots. Because people in India also don't want to get sick from street food.
That's true, but no, I don't think they would get sick because I think their stomachs are used to it. It's just like foreigners, they're not used to it.
I think you have to adapt yourself. Like it happens to me too. It happens to my family too when they go back. It's not just a you thing.
But I think obviously it's not just a me thing. I wasn't saying it was a me
thing. Right,
so. But like it's just like I think I also just get grossed out if someone's making food, live food, and they're not wearing gloves. Like I know in India there's many instances like that. So I don't think I'd be able to eat any street food if I'm seeing somebody just like go like.
I think we'd be surprised. I think we haven't. Well, first of all, I haven't been back to India for like I think 6 or 7 years at this point. I think we'd be surprised at what the scene's like there. Because my parents, I'll ask my parents, but I think I've seen people with like gloves now doing like pani puri. Like they have gloves on and have like the whole shebang. I think people in India are becoming more like they value those things too more nowadays.
Yeah, but I think those would be the reasons I wouldn't want to go to India, at least not yet. I would go for like sightseeing as a tourist,
The family thing I agree with because like when I went to India the first 2 times, it was just like we're going to see this person, this person, this person, this person. Like half the trip was just visiting a bunch of people that I had no idea who they were and being introduced to them.
Mexico, been there twice. To Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan, but
Mazatlan sounds like a theme park or something.
It's not as nice as Puerto Vallarta. So I recommend the other one more than Mazatlan. But
what's it called again?
Puerto Vallarta.
Does it mean like green port or something?
I don't know.
Your Spanish used to be pretty good when you went to Mexico. You were like saying like hola.
Oh yeah. Yes.
You're asking for vegetarian
but
food.
What else is there about Desi families on vacation? Actually, I think we did get I think I asked I asked on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I had someone write something. Oh yeah, this was a good one.
Oh.
So somebody wrote, every time we travel, my mom insists on bringing everything imaginable. Towels, hand wash, laundry detergent, shower gels, shampoos, despite knowing that all of these things will be provided at the hotel. Her bag gets stuffed with these items, and then she fills up my bag with her clothes. That's like
Desi being used as like a mule.
that's kind of like the situation with your mom.
Do you think that's like an immigrant thing, or is that like a hoarder mentality? Like where does it come from?
I think it just comes from like I think it's just like a cultural thing. Like, you know, they were raised, well, our parents probably didn't travel as much as we did, or some parents haven't, like mine
Yeah.
haven't. So I think it's just like going to a new place, they don't know what to expect. But I have seen this where it's like, you know, you're gonna fill it up with like
Everything, just in
shampoo,
case.
laundry detergent though. That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
But the worst part is when they actually end up using the stuff, and then you can't say anything about it because you're like, dang it, we did use it.
I think it's funny because it goes both ways, right? You like bring all these extra things that you think is not gonna be in the hotel, but then when you're leaving the hotel, you pack up all the hotel goodies into your.
Stealing?
It's not stealing.
You're stealing?
It's not stealing.
Ooh, she's stealing.
We're not packing up like towels from the hotel.
Okay, that would be wild.
I'm just saying.
Blankets, pillows, the whole bed.
I was just saying, like packing up all those like teeny tiny things, like the cute little bottles.
I don't think like replace those. No, I'm pretty sure they don't replace those. I think they stay there until they're used, right? So once you use them, they're gonna throw them out anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So might as well, right? So it's just.
Yo, I'm gonna take the safe from the hotel. Those things are expensive.
Oh, family vacations. You know what we need to talk about? Maybe your family doesn't have this problem. So family vacations sucked when the family would be crammed in one room.
In a
So there'll
hotel?
be two beds, right? My mom and dad on one bed, my brother and I on the other. And then the snoring, okay? The snoring. Both my parents snore. And it's just like alternating. So it's like you never get like a moment of silence. It's just like
If one person's snoring, the other person's asleep,
quiet.
and the other person.
No,
Do they ever
I
snore
mean
at the
like
same time?
no, that's what I'm saying. They're snoring at the same time,
It's just
but
like
their snores are all.
snore.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
So I remember it's like vacations would be like laying on the bed, and then my parents would fall asleep first, and my brother and I would be like, really like, oh my gosh, like come on. And then it got worse because then I started snoring, and I think it was worse for my brother because he was stuck in a room with 3 people who snored,
Just
and he's the only.
constant, like flat volume level.
He's the only one who doesn't. So I think just like staying in one hotel room, insane. Especially with a family like an Indian family where you have like a father who snores so loud, right? Like it's bad enough that I can hear him snoring from downstairs in our house.
It's
right?
like the memes, like the oh.
So it's just like you don't get proper sleep, and then you wonder if maybe it's like a connection. Like, why did my vacation not feel that good? Like maybe it's because you didn't get to sleep. Right? And then on top of that, it's like, you know, like just to like have a good or better plan. You have a better plan. You're sharing the room with your family. So then it's like 4 people, 1 bathroom.
Yeah. And so when that international food hits
Man,
you,
no.
everyone's got to go.
Right? And then it's just like your dad's just sitting there for like an hour in the bathroom. I'm like, why are you there for so long? I'm like, get out.
I think you have to realize, but men enjoy just pooping.
Okay, well, that's just crazy.
Bless you. Just allergic to the BS. Jamaican me angry.
You are Jamaican me.
Okay, for vacation topics, going back to the
my point was just don't spend so long in the bathroom. I was just talking about Desi families being stuck in a hotel room together.
For my Europe trip, we had to do that for I think 2 locations.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, I think it was pretty pleasant because my family doesn't snore. And if they do snore, I don't notice it. I'm just asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I knock out pretty quickly. And once I'm out, I'm out. Like you can't wake me up with snoring. But I did enjoy having a separate room. It was like me and my brother, and then my parents and my parents. My brother though, he's one of those people that like sleeps in a lot. Like I'll be up at, well, I think I sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be up at like 9,
Mm-hmm.
which is some people consider late.
Yeah.
He wakes up at like 1. I'm like, what am I worried about? So, but it's good because I'm up, like I can be up and he doesn't use the bathroom because he's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one benefit of having like alternating sleep schedules.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's our experiences about Desi or like just like ethnic families on vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's like us now. How do you think this will change when people are like, you know, when it's like, imagine like if you're like in a situation where you're married and you have to go on a vacation with your spouse and your parents.
Do people do that?
I think so.
Actually, no, you're right. Because during my vacation, we literally came across somebody that was doing that.
Yeah.
It was like husband,
Yeah,
wife,
yeah, yeah,
and then husband's parents.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of weird.
it is kind of. I mean, it depends on the vibe, right? If everyone's chill, then it's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the question? It's like how
Like
would you deal with that?
like would the dynamics be like? Imagine to like save money, everyone just like rooming together. It's just like
I don't think it'd be that awkward. Like
Awkward?
unless like the husband and wife are like in the honeymoon phase
uh-huh.
and they're like doing PDA or something.
Not
I would not.
as brown people. That's crazy.
Brown people, no. If that's the only like issue I'd see coming up. Other than that, like I think people are down to just have like a chill.
Okay, but what if
vacation with
now let's
parents.
add in another layer. What if there's like kids on a vacation?
Yo, kids are annoying, man.
Kids on a vacation. I can't imagine when people take kids. I see all these like influencers and they're like, who told you can't travel with a child? Who told you can't travel with a toddler or a baby? We can. And I'm like,
Cat.
I'm like, maybe you can, but like, are you having fun? Like, yeah, you can. Yeah, of course you can go on a vacation with a kid. But like, it's like me saying like, of course I can jump off a cliff. Does that mean I'm gonna be alive at the end? No.
Yeah, and it's like if you're like an influencer and you're posting videos, all you've proven is that it's possible to take a 60-second video of a kid being happy on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't prove that the kid's not going to be crying for like most of the vacation
Mm-hmm.
or just being like whining and annoying. Well, I guess it depends on the kid too, right? If your kids are raised like monsters, then
Man.
that's on you.
So I think if I had to give travel advice to people who are traveling, is you go to a hotel that's kid free. There's hotels that are adult only, and
Is that really an issue? Like, have you actually like ran into an issue where you're at a hotel and a kid?
I think hotels that allow kids, they're not as clean, and like the look of it is not as like like it's not as
Pristine.
pristine.
Okay.
You can tell a difference. I know when we went to Mexico last time, the hotel we were at, it was like no kids allowed kind of hotel. It was only adults, and everything was just beautiful, majestic, clean. And I remember my brother and I walked across the beach and went to another hotel to check it out. There were kids there, and the pool just filled with like floaties, right? Like huge the pool is filled.
Okay, in this time, floaties does mean poop.
No,
That's how they refer
okay.
to
I
it.
mean like inflatable ducks.
Okay.
Or like just like donuts.
Okay. I was like.
Can you imagine? I'm not gonna go and be like, yeah, I was filled with like whatever.
Because that's what it refers to generally.
No, I didn't hear that. I've never heard of that before. But it's just like you can tell a difference, and there's like children running around. Like people are trying to relax on a beach chair, and there's these kids just like running past them, right? I think it makes a difference. But I understand the appeal of taking your own child. Maybe if they were like raised calm and they were calm, like very calm.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen those like reels where they like dip the baby's toes in the water and the baby like retracts their feet because they don't want they're too scared. It's just like
But that's a baby though. Like the baby doesn't have like a personality, you know?
That's true.
Once they're a toddler and you can run around. Once you're mobile, oh boy.
But yeah.
I've seen the baby reels. That is really cute. And babies are strong. They can like hold themselves up.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay, traveling with a baby and traveling with like a toddler are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you prefer, baby or toddler?
Baby.
Baby?
Mm-hmm.
But like during the airplane, they're gonna be crying because they don't know how to equalize pressure.
You just give them to the other people on the plane. They just want to play with the baby.
Give them to other
You
people.
just like pass it around. Pass the potato around.
I did notice that like during our like long flights, people like parents would just have the baby and walk up and down the aisle.
And then the baby would just like look at
everybody. They would just like looking at everybody, waving. Everyone's like, "Oh, how cute!" So that is like a nice part. When they're not crying, they're being used as like cuteness supplies.
Yeah, one flight I went to, I think there was a crying baby, and the parents needed to rest. So the flight attendant was so nice, and she picked up the baby, offered to take the baby on a walk. So she like held the baby, so the baby's face was facing away from the flight attendant, and she's just like like rocking the baby, walking, and showing the baby off to all the passengers, and everybody's just like distracting the baby and waving. It's just cute.
I can't imagine being a baby on a plane because, like, first of all, the air pressure thing, it'll mess you up because it messes me up. I don't know how to deal with it. But for a baby, it's like it'd be like life-ending, like life-threatening almost. So I still get annoyed when a baby's crying. I'm only human, but I understand, right? The next, what would be like a good vacation spot that you want to go to next with your family? Like if you had to plan a vacation.
Mexico.
Again?
Yeah.
You've been there like
I'm not risking anything else.
come on, try something new.
I can't. I can't
Just
risk anything
Mexico.
else.
Okay, at least a different spot in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different spot.
It's like
Los
same resort.
Los Cabos.
Los what?
Los Cabos. I think Cabos.
Is it like a
It's another city.
Is it like a trendy spot or something? Like
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, I'm not risking anything. But I think vacation, traveling with Desi families is interesting. It's an interesting experience.
Definitely is.
Very eventful.
I want to try going to like a cold spot with my family because we've only gone to hot spots so far. So I wonder what like a trip to like
you live
Greenland,
in Canada.
Iceland would be.
Go outdoors with your family for 10 minutes in the winter, and that's your vacation and something.
Yeah, but like maybe like going to like some place with like castles, like a Belgium or something, in like the winter kind of area. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that might be next. Okay, well, we gotta have like a way to end off the podcast. Keep gup shupping it up.
Keep gup shupping it up.
That's so dumb.